Hi and welcome to another YouTube video. This video I'm going to build a farmhouse, like an old British English farmhouse with the new cottage living pack, and this one was so much fun. In general, I think the cottage living pack is so inspiring, like all of the new lots in the new world and just like the neighborhood and like all of the landscaping around and all of the other builds, like all of the game changers that were making builds for this pack and this world did such an amazing job. Like first I thought maybe I would do some renovations of the lots that came with this world, but all of them are so gorgeous and so well done that instead of doing like renovations, I'm just looking at them and being inspired by them and making builds that fit into the neighborhood and fit in well, hopefully with the builds that the game changers have done, because they have done an amazing job. And so I was very inspired, you could say, doing this build. So I looked up on Pinterest some old English like farmhouses and farms and just like tiny farms, because like most of the like farms that you have nowadays that produce like some like milk and meat and stuff, they are all like very big and they don't look very beautiful and dreamy anymore. So I got inspired by like older farms, and I hope I get that vibe across. I saw some very nice inspiration pictures, and so I just started building. Even though I have to say I strayed away quite far from the inspiration pictures, because usually the shape is very simple. You have like one big just like square or like rectangle main build, and then you have like one smaller rectangle on the side of it. And that's it, like that's most of the farms that I saw. So I added a little bit of an entrance shape in the front and also a little tower in the front. And then I saw like a lot of these had like so many chimneys, which makes sense because they were like old houses with cold winters, and you basically needed a fireplace in every single room in order to keep your house heated, because you didn't have like centralized heating or anything like that. So I added a lot of chimneys, a lot of fireplaces on the inside, which was a bunch of fun to kind of like keep in mind how like these builds must have been built in the olden days. And it was a bunch of fun. And while we are on the topic of the interior, I have to say, sadly, the recording of the interior that I did got like corrupted, so like the quality was very bad that it recorded in, because OBS needed to update and like some settings got wrong. But I think that's a blessing in disguise, because first of all, that makes the speed build portion of this video shorter, and I think it has like the perfect length to like stay interesting. So I am very happy with like the length of the speed build portion, just focusing on the exterior. And for the interior, I did something a little bit special that I did one time before that was so much fun, which is kind of like an architectural digest style guided tour through the house and through the interior. And I did this for this one again, so you will still have like a voiceover in the tour that kind of like points out like special architectural features and stuff. And I feel like it was very fun for me, like pretending to be like this architect touring this house, wanting to sell it to you basically. So I had lots of fun with the tour, and I hope you have something to look forward to and that you like it in the end. And one thing that you have just seen me do in the speed build footage that I really wanted to do for a long time, or ever since I've seen the trailers to The Sims 4 Cottage Living, is build a roof like this with the thatched roof and the new roof details that we got, because they look so gorgeous. I am in love with this like roof detail on the top there, but because this roof detail needs to fit on top of the roof, I needed to keep like the sides of the roof very straight in the beginning until I placed them, and only then start to curve the the roof, because it is a thatched roof, and thatched roofs curve pretty easily if you see them in real life. So yeah, I wanted to get a little bit of curvature in there with the roof, just because I think it's realistic for an old farmhouse with a thatch roof. They just like start to curve over time, but I placed these roof decorations first in order for them to still fit on top of the roof even when it's curved later, not cursed, even when it's curved later, because I thought that would like allow me to control it more. And then when you saw me place the different windows, at first it looks kind of bland because this style of house has like a very different shape than the shape that I usually use for building Sims houses, because usually when I'm building Sims houses I work a lot with bump outs to make the shape of my house and the shape of the roof look very interesting, to have like options to switch up the wall colorings and have like accent walls and make them pop. So this shape didn't allow for that a lot, so I had pretty bland walls, and to kind of cover up for that and still make the walls look interesting and not flat, I really went wild with the ivy and like the wall decorations. And yeah, I like at first I was kind of taken back, like did I take it too far, did I place like too much ivy and stuff, but like ivy grows like crazy when you've got it on your walls, and this ivy in particular had many years to grow, so I think it's like kind of realistic for it to be like really overgrown. And I also really fell in love with the look of all of the different ivies over time. I think they work very well together, and they give this house like this like interesting touch. So yeah, I kind of was happy with the wall decorations in the end. But if you say like for you and like your use of this house it's like too much ivy for your liking, then I also understand where you're coming from, because I had that thought in my head too. But yeah, now we are already starting with the landscaping, and that was particularly fun for this one. I wanted to go for like a lot of like yellow and orange tones in the landscaping, because I kind of felt like that would fit in with the roof and also with the fields that you see me place later. So yeah, I wanted to go for orange flowers. I think on a real farm you wouldn't match up the color of the flowers that and like the grass and the little plants that grow on your farm with like the color scheme of your house. I think that's a very like Sims thing to do, but it's like it was my thought process behind it, and I think it doesn't look like unnatural or anything in the end. So I think it's okay that I took like the design route instead of the realism route. I think it still looks like fairly realistic. And here you see me make a little like seating area that I'm also going to decorate later, and this was a bunch of fun, and I think it turns out to be a very nice area to sit and kind of look over the lake in the end. And also this lake is like such a fun feature for me of this house, because yeah, I love the pond tool, and this like big lake allowed me to really go crazy with like all of the new decorations for the lakes and for the ponds. And yeah, this was a bunch of fun. And also this one is placed on a fairly big lot. I think it's the 64 by 64 lot that we got with the new world, so I really had like a lot of space to work with. So I managed to fit in like a big lake in here. I managed to put in like a huge area for animals, so like a chicken coop and like 2 places for cows and the llamas to stay. And I think this one also, like, of course it's not as overgrown because there needs to be like a lot of grass and like free realm for the cows and stuff to walk on later, but I still think I managed to keep like a balance between like the very overgrown grounds of the rest of the farm and this area being a little less overgrown, but it doesn't look out of place in the end, so I was very happy with that. And then I also fit in the house, of course, and 2 2 like farming spaces where you can grow your crops, and where I placed some scarecrows on, and that I kind of like framed by some fences and some landscaping, and I think it turned out very, very nice in the end. I am very, very happy with these like farm element pieces that we got to build, because I don't know, they have, first of all, such a nice tone to them. Like I really love the color that they have, and also they have like a little bit of depth. They are like a little bit 3D, so I really prefer them over the like fields that we used to do beforehand, where we just use the terrain color, like the terrain paint, to spray paint ourselves a little farming area, whereas these ones have like this 3D effect, and I really like them, and I really like how they look when you like put them together into like larger fields. So I did this twice here. So I hope you like it too. And after I was done with placing the fields, I was able to really get crazy with the landscaping. So my process was basically just going into debug and looking through all of the things that we've gotten with cottage living, and just like picking out everything that I liked and inspired me, which were honestly most of the things in debug. Of course, there are also things like the additional buildings that we got in debug that I didn't get to use because I already had a building. But yeah, other than that, I think I used pretty much everything from the debug menu, which was a bunch of fun. And so yeah, I just picked out all of the lovely trees that we've gotten, because there are really like some beautiful trees there. And then I also found like some hidden gems in debug, like for example this little well that goes down and has like beautiful decorations. And then there are also hay bales that you can size, like they're a little bit small when they come with a debug, but you can size them up and they look like reasonably sized hay bales, and they're absolutely beautiful. And then there's also a cart that has hay bales on top of it, which is just like so fitting to place next to a field like this. And then the scarecrow I got, I think the scarecrow is base game. And yeah, also, oh yes, there are also these little seats, like these little things that you can sit on that are shaped and colored like mushrooms, and they are so beautiful. First of all, they are like very cute ideas for example for kids room, to have them like have all of these different mushroom seeds around like a play table or something. I think that's a very nice idea. But also you can size them down and place them as actual mushrooms, and they go so well with also the mushroom like terrain decorations that we've gotten in debug with this game, and also these little tree stumps that we've gotten where like the rabbits hide in, and also that the little birdies fly into. So these tree stump items also have some mushrooms around them or growing on top of them, so they pair well with the debug mushrooms. And then also you have the seeds that give a little bit variety into this. So I really like went a little bit wild with mushrooms, and I thought they looked very, very nice, very dreamy. Then there's also this tractor item that I thought looked very cool. Like it looked like it wasn't used in a few years, so I don't really know if it makes sense for me to place it next to like the field for the farm animals where I ended up placing it, because that would be the place for a tractor that you still actively use. But maybe they do still actually use it, and it just looks a little bit rusty. But maybe also, like, I know from some playgrounds that I visited as a child that we would, like, I grew up on a very like land, like countryside area, and a lot of playgrounds there just had like old tractors for children to like climb and play on and play pretend that they like own a farm and stuff. So maybe these people that live there, I mean, they have like 2 children's rooms in the end fit for 3 children, so they have children there, and maybe they had this old tractor that they just left there for the children to play play on. I think that's a very nice idea, and I think that the children could have a bunch of fun with. And now you see me place like some of this stone decorations from Eco Lifestyle that I've used in a lot of other packs too, to kind of like cover up these steep areas that like just are a result of using the terrain tool. And I hope you're not tired of me using them yet, because I feel like they give like such a beautiful effect to a build like this, and I thought they were very fitting here, so I used them again. But I know that I've used them a couple times now. I think I used them in 4 different builds for this exact purpose, so I'm going to change it up a bit in the builds coming soon. But I don't know, they just fit in so well here. But yeah, so I also used Eco Lifestyle in this build, but I still kind of limited my packs. Like it's still a few in there, but what I did was basically I went through all of the different packs, and I thought like, okay, which packs have objects that fit well with this style. So of course cottage living and the base game were just needed, but then I also thought that Strangerville had like these beautiful like windows that I didn't end up using, but I didn't like disable Strangerville. Then Realm of Magic also has like some old looking beautiful like very detailed items, so I also kept Realm of Magic. And also I kept Laundry Day, because Laundry Day just has like some very, very beautiful items that you can use very well to decorate like an older looking interior. So I didn't but then when there were packs that don't really have like that don't really fit this style, like for example City Living, and what's another good example, fitness stuff like that, I just disabled, so I didn't even got tempted to use it. So I think in the end I ended up using like 7 packs, but the the chance that you will be able to use this if you don't have that many packs is still a little bit higher. But I didn't limit myself that much, because there were some items from packs that I really wanted to use in this farmhouse. And the last little bits and bobs that I did on the build were kind of like cover up the back area, because on the back area there's not that much going on. There is like no seating area, and there's just like the back side of the upper field. So I just had a little bit of a walkway that led to the field, but other than that there wasn't really much going on. So I just covered it up with lots and lots of plants, and also added in some lavender, because there was some lavender growing on the terrain around it, and I really wanted this to fit in with its surroundings. So I had lots of fun also placing some lavender, and I thought that the back also kind of looks nice. Usually the back of my builds gets neglected a little bit, but I think in this case the back also looks kind of nice. And then I also got to decorate the lake or big pond with some lily pads and some like little pieces of wood that like go inside of it and that are like kind of mossy and stuff. I thought it looked very, very nice, and also place in like some ducks and some swans and some fishies for like that nice little effect when you press the play button on game mode. I really, really love that we got all of these different animals and stuff. And then the only thing left to do was play around with the terrain tools and like the terrain paint. And yeah, as always, I made a little 3-layered pathway, and I really like how the walkway came out in the end. I think it looks pretty natural, like the way that the walkway is curved. And yeah, then I just added a little bit of highlights, a little bit of shading, and then I was all done with the exterior. And what the interior, which I was kind of happy with to be honest, as told, you're going to see now in the guided tour. But I now quickly want to say thank you so much for watching already, for watching the speed build portion. If you liked and enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. You would make me super duper happy, and we'll see each other in the guided tour. Built in 1650, this prestigious farmhouse is now on the market for only 300,000 simoleons. It has been incredibly well preserved, kept in very well condition and updated in parts where it was needed, but didn't destroy the magic of this historical build. It comes with huge grounds that include a lake, a field for animals to graze, a chicken coop, and 2 beautiful crop fields. The walls of this build are overgrown with ivy and wisterias, which give it a very dreamy look and show the age of this build as well as its connection to nature. A later addition to the main house is the tower in the front that the owners added to give the house a more prestigious look and to let in more light to the inside. The animal area is framed by a beautiful landscape, and the old stables can house 2 gorgeous cows or llamas who will be neighbors with a cute little chicken who are residents of this lovely chicken coop. And this historic well can still be used to fill the drinking trough for these animals, but even if you prefer to use this slightly more modern garden hose, it still makes for a stunning architectural feature. The picturesque crop fields that are a part of this estate can be used to grow hay and feed the farm animals, but the soil is of such high quality that you can also grow huge, even prize-winning fruits and vegetables. But no matter what you decide to plant here, it's all going to be protected from flying thieves by these friendly scarecrows. The lake that is a part of this estate is clean and safe enough for children to play in, but it is also such a romantic place to have a picnic and a date, and also is the perfect place to sit down and relax and look at after a stressful day on the farm. Inhabitants of the lake are frogs, fishes, ducks, and these gorgeous swans, and sometimes there even seems to be a mysterious shimmer on the lake. On the right side of the house, there is this terrace and seating area where you have a beautiful view of the farm and are also surrounded by the most beautiful flowers. There is simply no better place to host a little gathering. When you first step into this build, you are greeted by a bench that will help you put on your shoes. Hanging over that bench are some pots handmade by a member of this family. Those are braided pots, which also embellish the flower pot of the plant that decorates this entry area. In the kitchen, the old kitchen cabinets were preserved but painted white to give the whole room a more bright and friendly look. It also has immediate access to a very handy food pantry of reasonable size and is also the perfect place to show off your antique plates and tableware. The small but cozy home library of this place has a very nice old fireplace that gives this room a nice warmth to it. It's also beautifully decorated and has the perfect place to just sit and read a book. And these bookshelves are filled with the most interesting books, some of them hundreds of years old, that have been gathered in generations of this family owning this house. The dining room really encapsulates the beauty of the farmhouse style and just how gorgeous this place is. It's such a bright and light room, and through the tower edition of this house you can look out into the beautiful flower fields of this estate, and also the table and chairs have been crafted from old woods and the chairs have been painted blue, and all in all this room just feels so filled with love and history, and in my opinion it's my favorite room in the house. This old living room is the perfect place to look at family pictures together. It's so cozy with a fireplace, and also the perfect place to just get together with your family in the evening, watch some TV or do some cross-stitching, or even teach your child or grandchild how to cross-stitch. It's just all around a good time in this living room. Other rooms that you can find downstairs are a room for your laundry and your cleaning utensils. Next to that is an office and study room complete with a typewriter, a chessboard and a piano. And then next to that is even your own home bar to throw the most legendary parties with your friends. And of course the ground floor also has a bathroom, which is handily located directly next to the bar room. The bed in the master bedroom has this beautiful ornate metal framing, and the room is also complete with a cozy fireplace and lots of family pictures. The guest bedroom used to be the bedroom of their oldest, now adult daughter, who still frequently comes to visit them, but they now kept this room a little bit more neutral to also serve as a bedroom for example, workers that help them out on the farm while it's harvest time. Whereas the master bedroom and the guest bedroom have their own ensuite bathrooms, this bathroom is shared by the teenage daughter and the 2 children because it has space for all 3 of them and serves as the main bathroom upstairs. And now we walk into the teenage daughter's room, where she had free room and choice to decorate this room for herself, and she was able to create this lovely and cute space for herself where she could also freely express her love and support for the LGBTQIA+ community. And last but not least is the children's bedroom, which is pretty much still in its old original shape with lots of toys that are many decades old. So the family is looking to upgrade this children's bedroom soon and maybe even move one of the children into the guest bedroom so that both of the twins could have their own rooms. And that's it for the tour through this house. I hope you liked it and I wish you an amazing day.